As we mentioned, the camp reopened in 2009. We started with our first work project on May 23rd, 2009, and since then we've had 15 work projects up at camp. So we've been up on nearly a monthly basis since the camp reopened, working on different projects around camp. We started with monthly work projects in 2010 and we'll be continuing through the next years, and we encourage everybody to come up to those work parties. Anybody who's free on usually the third Saturday of the month, they can come up and help work on a variety of projects, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that we've done this past year at camp. Tomorrow morning we'll be working on the roof up at camp, so as you can see, though we're here tonight, we'll be up bright and early. We have to finish the roof before the snow starts falling for the year, so we got to get the Chief's Lodge secured. And as we talk about these projects, we want to thank you for the money and the time that you've all donated to the Friends of Pomperaug. The money that we collect here tonight will be going to projects over the next year that we have at camp. We moved back into camp in 2009, and one of the first things we did, we wanted to make sure that it became Camp Pomperaug again, so that Pomperaug sign went back up onto the barn. And over the past year, Dr. Bob has graciously used his artistic skills to repaint the Camp Pomperaug rock that you saw at the end of the video. So we'll look at a couple pictures. As you can see, Mike Abramson is up all night. That was one of the first things we did when we went back up to campus, hang the sign back up. And there's Dr. Bob painting religiously onto the new rock. One of the things we did after that was we undertook a number of projects at camp to make sure the camp was safe for scout use. We did a number of small safety projects in all the buildings, shoring up any wiring or other things that needed to be done at camp. We fixed the bridge dam and the fencing that ran along the bridge so it was safe to walk through that area. And we spent some time repairing the ranger's house for a problem where the floor on the first floor was caving into the basement. You can see Mike stands proudly next to his new beam in the basement of the ranger's house, and there's the damn bridge that we repaired. Our next major project at camp had to do with the barn. We spent a number of work projects at the barn. There had been what I would call a multitude of shingles piled on the first floor of the barn for the past 10 years, which caused the barn floor to cave in part. We spent a lot of time cleaning that up. We had a lot of youth volunteers up to help with that project. We cleared out the floor and secured it so that it was safe to be in that area at camp. And one of our future projects will be to work on the barn and repairing that floor.
Yeah, that needs repair, yes.
As you can see, we spent a lot of time also clearing out the garbage that was collected in the barn for many, many years. Some of it may have been there since the 50s. And we secured the barn roof with tarps for the winter last year, and then this past spring we repaired it with some temporary boards until we have the money to fully reshingle the barn. Next thing we did around camp, the burn camp uses some flush toilets in one small building in camp, but obviously that's not enough when we bring a large scouting group into the camp. So we spent a lot of time repairing the 12 latrines that are in camp. We reconnected the water to most of them, done seat board replacement and seat replacement, painted, and we did some roof repair recently. You can see that in the photos. We had to completely repair the roof on one of the latrines. Next project that we undertook, we had an ordeal up at camp this past September. It was our first OA ordeal back at camp in nearly 10 years, hopefully our first of many. The Friends of Pomperaug invested in over $400 worth of tools for the camp to be able to organize projects like that, buying rakes and shovels and all sorts of equipment that we needed to have at camp to, again, hold events for hundreds of people doing work at the camp. We worked on painting the chapel benches, and we spent a lot of time chipping wood and clearing out the grove behind the dining hall so it was usable again. You can see our monster chipper. And one of the major projects that we undertook as the Friends of Pomperaug, we started this past summer, was completely redoing the Chief's Lodge so it could become the Camp Master Center at camp and sort of the center of operations while camp is open. We completely gutted the inside of the Chief's Lodge. We've stripped the roof and we're working on reshingling it right now. And we spent a lot of money both on shingles and dumpsters, and that was all funded by the Friends of Pomperaug. So the other thing we wanted to talk about was what we're going to be doing next at Camp Pomperaug. We're going to be continuing work at the Chief's Lodge, which means we're going to be painting the exterior. We're completely redoing the plumbing and electrical inside the building, installing a new hot water heater and furnace, new bathroom on the first floor, re-insulating and putting brand new drywall in the entire building, refurbishing the floors, and spending a lot of time over the next year working on the Chief's Lodge so that it can be used again fully as a Camp Master building at camp. We're also going to be installing heating in a number of the other buildings at camp so that those buildings can be used for rentals by troops during the winter. We're going to install wood stoves in a number of the buildings. Right now we only have one building that has heating, so we want to expand that so more people can use the camp during the winter months. We're also going to be continue working on the chapel. You saw pictures of painting the benches. We're going to start working on replacing the roof next year, hopefully. Continue painting inside and outside of the chapel and restoring that to the great way it was during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the other major project that we're hoping to undertake is completely redoing the amphitheater area, finishing clearing it out, replacing benches as needed. So as you can see, we have a lot of projects on the plate for next year, and a lot of the money and the time that everybody spent by the Friends of Pomperaug has gone directly back into the camp to use for the benefit of Scouting and Connecticut Yankee Council. So if that gave you a good glimpse of how we've spent our time and money as the Friends of Pomperaug over the past year and a half.